Good morning, students. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so good morning to all. My name is Tanmay Das. So I am your assistant professor of your electrical engineering department. So I will be taking your subject of principles of electromagnetic field theory. So I will be taking this subject for this semester. So the Google link through which you have joined, kindly save that because it will be the same for this particular semester. Okay. So once again, good morning to all. So still the students are joining.
Morning.
Okay. Okay. So I am starting my lecture. So there will be some network issues in between. So if you find that my voice is not audible or I may be disconnected, then please inform me. Okay. Okay. So please wait. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So I hope the screen is visible to all. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you for the feedback. So the subject name is electromagnetic field theory. So this particular subject is basically the prerequisite knowledge. That means before studying this subject, you have to have some basic concepts of physics. Okay, the basic physics which you have already studied in your class 11 and 12, and also in the first year, along with the concept of some mathematics also. Okay, that means integration. Then in advanced mathematics, you will be in engineering mathematics, you will be studying these divergence curls, all these things, vectors. Okay, the matrix. Okay, so these are the modules that will be covered in your particular subject. Okay, and regarding the books, so you will be getting the books from the library as per the schedule or the notice, but I will be sharing you one ebook also. Okay, ebook. Along with that, I will also share my notes with you in the Google Classroom. Okay, so whatever platform you're comfortable with. So can you tell me what platform do you use for sharing notes and assignments? Can anyone please tell me? Do you use, are you or you can say, are you comfortable with Google Classroom?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have already created
Yes,
a
sir.
Yes, sir.
okay, so I have already created a Google Classroom. Okay, so in my ID, so I will be sharing that code to you, classroom code. So you can see the different notes. Okay, along with the ebook also, and in that classroom itself, as you all know, you can I will be giving you some questions after few lectures. Okay, or the end of a module, maybe. Then you can answer those questions in the form of an assignment and upload in that Google Classroom. Okay, so that means the classes will be conducted through this Google Meet, and the exchange of notes and assignments will be done through Google Classrooms. Okay. Okay, so going to the lecture. So the subject code is electromagnetic field theory. One second. Okay, is the PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're are you able to see the PPT? No, okay. Okay, so now this is the name of the module, coordinate systems and transformations, lecture 1, and the topics to be delivered are under this particular lecture is basics of vectors, then introduction to coordinate systems, the rectangular coordinate system, which is also called the Cartesian coordinate system. Are you able to see the topics which I am just telling? Is it visible on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then there will be the differential length, okay, area and volume also. So these topics will be there. Okay. So first of all, basics of vectors. So can anyone tell me what do you mean by a vector? Hello? Have you heard the word vector before? Vector, scalar. Have you heard?
Yes, sir.
One second. Okay, so please tell me what do you mean by vector? In physics, I think you have all studied vectors and scalars. Okay, so first tell me what is a vector?
Physical quantity which has direction and magnitude.
Yes, so it is a physical quantity which has a direction along with a that means it has obviously a magnitude along with the direction. Okay, so can you give an example of vector? Any example of a vector? That means any example of a physical quantity which is a vector?
The momentum.
Electric field.
Electric field.
Force.
Force is also there. Force is a vector. Okay, so what is a scalar? Can you define scalar?
Which has only magnitude.
Yes, so it is also a physical quantity which is only having a magnitude but no direction. Okay, give an example of a scalar.
Work done.
Work done. Okay, good. So vectors are
Time.
those physical, yes, time also. So vectors are those physical quantities which has magnitude along with the direction, and scalars are those quantities which only have a magnitude. So example of a vector is velocity, but speed is a scalar because speed and vector you may say speed and velocity you may say both are same because magnitude wise and literally they may look the same because if you're using a or you're driving a car and you see a speedometer, the speedometer you're seeing that the car is moving at say 50 km per hour. That means you're seeing the speed, the 50 km per hour is represented by the speedometer. So it is showing the magnitude, but it is not showing in which direction the car is moving. Is it moving in north, south, east, west? But if you represent it in this way that the car is moving at a 50 km per hour towards north, that means that is a velocity. So velocity will be represented by some in a form of an arrow. Okay, so it is moving towards certain direction. So it is useful to separate physical quantities into two types. First are called scalars and second are known as the vectors. Okay, A scalar is a quantity that can be described by a single number which can be positive, negative or zero. That means it is just a magnitude. So magnitude of anything can be either positive or negative or even a zero. So any integer. An example of a scalar quantity is the mass of an object. Okay, so that means if you say the mass of a stone is 3 kg, that means it is a scalar quantity. So it has no direction. So mass cannot be represented by a direction. So it is a scalar quantity. It is also important to give the units in which the quantity is measured. So obviously if you are representing a scalar or a vector, whatever, it should have a quantity, because every, that means identity, or every physical parameter has some a unit. Okay, so it is measured by some unit, so that quantity should be having some units. Obvious examples of scalars are temperature and length, but there are many other engineering applications in which scalars play an important role. For example, speed, work, voltage, energy are all scalars. So as I have told you, the speed is a scalar. Okay, then work is also a scalar. Okay, so work is a scalar. Then we have voltage as a scalar, and energy are also scalar. Okay, so these are all scalar quantities. On the other hand, vectors are quantities which require the specification of a magnitude and a direction. That means it is a quantity, as we have just discussed, it is having magnitude along with a direction. So an example of a vector quantity is the force. That means force we are applying into something. Okay, so since we are applying into something, so it has to be applied in a certain direction, otherwise it won't be able to understand that the application of the force is in which direction. That is why the force is always a vector. Okay, but work is not a vector, it is a scalar. Okay, so when the object is shown in figure 1, you can see this particular figure. So can you see the figure 1? I am asking repeatedly because I can understand there are some network issues. So that is why I am asking. Are you able to see? Then I will continue. Is it visible, figure 1? Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, actually my computer has been logged out because of the network issue, so I'm using my phone. So please wait till I once again connect it. Okay, so now I think the screen is visible, isn't it? Okay, now is it visible, students? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now it's visible. So, can you see this figure number 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm continuing. Sorry for the interruption, actually for the network issue. So in figure 1, you can see it is showing a force. So a force is a vector, as you all know. It is having some direction. So it is having some magnitude, and the direction is shown by this particular arrow. So if the force is applied on this direction from left to right, then the arrow should be represented in this direction. If the force is applied upwards, so the arrow should be directed upwards in this way. Okay. So this table shows some quantities, physical quantities, which are classified as vectors and scalars. So you can see distance, all of you know, it is the SI unit is meter, and it is a scalar. Similarly, mass, then temperature, then pressure, work, energy, these are all scalars. But displacement is a vector. So you can see, don't get confused between displacement and distance. The distance is just the measurement. But this distance, so distance is the measurement, but displacement is measurement along with the direction. So it is a vector. Similarly, force is a vector, velocity is a vector, and acceleration is also a vector. So because a vector has a direction as well as it is having a magnitude, okay, so we can represent by drawing a line. So you can see whenever we represent any vector, we use this particular line. Okay, so use this particular line for representation of this particular vector, and the scale, it is measured like this. Suppose this is a line and this is a force, so we will write say 10 newtons, and it is represented by this particular direction. Okay, now addition of vectors. Now I'm repeating these things because all of you have studied all these things in your school levels. Okay, but this you can say this recap should be necessary because it is also in the syllabus. So we need to go for this recap for addition, vectors, and multiplication and subtraction. Okay. So to see why this law is appropriate to add them this way, consider the following example. Suppose this is a vector AB. Okay. So suppose we take an example that this is a vector AB and this is a vector BC. Okay, so these are points B and C. The distance between them is BC. Okay, so magnitude is say BC and the direction is like this, so it is called a vector BC. Now if you add AB and BC, then you will get AC. So addition is in the form of a triangle using the triangle law. So that means you start from here. This is a starting point. Okay, then there is another vector in this way, this one, and if you want to add them, then the resultant will be this one. So resultant vector. So all of you know this. Okay, this is a resultant vector. Okay. Now the vehicle may require. Okay, so here is an example. Say suppose we are using a vehicle. So an unnamed vehicle moves on tracks around a factory floor, carrying the components from the store at A to workers at C. Okay, so it is carrying a vehicle is carrying some quantity from store to the workers. Okay, so this is just an example to make you understand, but since all of you know this basic concept of addition, so I'm not going through this particular details. So since you all of you know, so I'm just representing like this. So the equation will be vector AB plus BC will be equals to AC. So this is the way of representing it. Okay. Now this is an example of the triangular law for adding vectors. So we add vectors AB and BC by placing a tail of BC to the end of A and completing the third side of the triangle so formed. That means the tail of A. Tail of A means, one second. So this tail of A. Okay, so this is a vector AB. So this is the ending point. Okay, then from the ending point we start another vector BC. Okay, so that means whenever both these two have been joined, that means the remaining part, that means the starting point and the ending point should be joined to find the you can say determine the resultant one. Okay, now subtraction of vectors. So for subtraction of vectors, we have to perform the same operation but in a different way. You can say, suppose there are two vectors A and B. Now if you want to add them, okay, so if you want to add them, so suppose if you want to add A and B, so obviously you will put this part, okay, this point over here. Okay, so it will be like this. If I represent over here, suppose this is A and this is B. So this is, say, A plus B, A plus B. Okay, and the direction will be like this. So it will not be a closed cycle, always remember, because if you see the previous one over here also, the direction from A to B is left to right, then B to C is upwards, and the resultant is always in this way. So it will never be a loop. It will be like this, resultant vector. Similarly for here also, if you take two vectors A and B, if you want to add them, it will be like this, A plus B in this direction. But if you want to subtract them, so subtracting means what you are doing, you are adding A and minus B. Suppose you want to subtract B from A. Suppose 10 minus 5 means what? You are subtracting 5 from 10. So in that case, the subtraction is nothing but a different form of addition where one vector is having a positive value and the other vector is having a negative value. So if the direction of B is from up to down, the direction of minus B will be from down to up. Okay, and this one will be your resultant one. Okay, or you can say in this will be better for you to understand this one. One second. Okay, this one I'm showing you from this particular figure. So addition is clear to you, A plus B. Now if you see, if you want to subtract B from A, the direction of B will be opposite. So you can say in this particular figure, the B direction is from down to upwards in this direction, whereas the B which was previously was there, which was in this direction, but minus B in the opposite direction, opposite of B. So now if you want to add A and B, so you can do the same. You are adding A and B. So the resultant will be like this, A plus of minus B. Okay, A plus of minus B. So that means you are subtracting in this way. Okay. So same thing, you are adding A and minus B to get A minus B. That is a subtraction. Okay. Then multiplying a vector by a scalar. If you want to say, if you want to multiply, you cannot multiply two vectors directly. Okay. So generally multiplication is done in this way, that you multiply a vector and a scalar. Okay. So suppose we have a vector like this A. A is a vector. Okay. So your vector A is to be multiplied by a scalar, and the scalar is K. The scalar is K. This is a scalar one. So K is any positive scalar. That means K is any positive. Suppose it is plus 2 or plus 5, anything. It is positive. So suppose you are having a vector of magnitude A and you are multiplying 5 with it. So obviously the magnitude of A will be increased by 5 times, isn't it? So magnitude of A will increase by 5 times. So if you are multiplying K, which is a scalar quantity, just a magnitude with a vector, then the vector A will, the magnitude will increase by the kth time. So if it is A, so if you multiply K with A, so the vector A will become longer. So the magnitude will increase. Okay. but the direction will remain same because you are just multiplying a scalar with a vector. Okay, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if you are multiplying a negative value, suppose k is some negative value, suppose k is a -5. So if you multiply k with a, so the value will be -5a. So once again, since k, the scalar k is only having a magnitude because it is a scalar. So you are multiplying scalar with a vector. So k is a scalar, it is having a magnitude, and magnitude is -5. And you're adding that multiplying that -5 with a vector. So once you multiply -5 with a vector, so that means the magnitude of the vector is increased by -5 times. So actually magnitude is increased by 5 times. So you can say that a, which was previously small, here also you can say the value of a is multiplied by kth time. Okay, so it is increased. So we don't know, k can be 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. But since it is minus k, okay, so see, if it is minus k, so the direction will be reversed. So previously, if you see the left one where k was positive, the direction is in this way, in this direction. Okay, but over here the direction is on the other way, because here also it is multiplied by k, so kth time, but the direction is opposite because k is negative. That means if you want to reverse the direction of any vector, you can multiply with a negative scalar. Suppose you are having a force of 10 newtons. If you want to reverse the direction of force and keep it as -10 newtons, then multiply with -1. If you want to increase it by 2 times, then multiply with 2. And if you want to increase it by 2 times, but in the opposite direction, then multiply with -2. This is very similar to that. Okay. Now coming to unit vectors. So what is a unit vector? Can anyone tell what do you mean by unit vector? Because I think all of you are familiar with the term unit vector. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
What is unit vector?
So whose magnitude is 1?
Yes, unit vectors are those vectors which are obviously having a magnitude and the direction, but the magnitude is 1. So that means if you're having a vector, suppose vector f, which is equals to 10 newtons. So that means it will have some direction and one magnitude. But if you want to only represent that, if the question asks, if someone asks you the question, that only represent the vector by its magnitude, the vector force f by its magnitude only. So you will just give the, show the, I'm repeating once again. If the question is asked that represent the vector f by its direction only direction, not magnitude, only direction. So you will represent the vector by an arrow sign in the direction in which it is should be represented. And the magnitude should be 1, because since the question is asked that only represent the direction, so you don't have to give the entire magnitude. If it is 10, then you don't have to write 10, you will just write 1 with the direction. So that is called the unit vector. So unit vector is nothing but it is only the representing the direction of a vector with a unit magnitude. Unit means 1. So unit magnitude means 1 magnitude with the direction. So you can see this straight line, it is a vector, and vector is a, small a. So if a has magnitude 3, suppose the magnitude of a is 3, okay, then the unit vector is in the direction of a and is having a magnitude 1. So since a, the magnitude of a is 3, so the magnitude of unit vector will be 1 by a. So a is a vector, so it is 1 by 3 into mod of 3 and a cap, sorry, mod of a vector. Okay, so that means it is nothing but 1 by 3 1 by 3 into 3 a cap, which is equals to only a cap. So that means this value is nothing but 1. Okay, this value is nothing but 1 because a is 3. So 1 by 3 into a means 1 by 3 into 3, that is 1. So whatever I have written over here, you have to understand that vector a, under it is shown like this. You can also represent a vector in this way. It is not mandatory that you have to show in this way. Generally vectors can be shown in this way. A arrow. So a arrow or a with a dash underneath it is a vector. Okay, and the modulus of it, that means the magnitude, is nothing but the modulus of that vector, which is 3. Okay, so always remember, since a vector a, it is a vector, so it is having a magnitude along with a direction. So direction is always represented by this term a cap, this term. This is nothing but the unit vector. This is the unit vector. Okay, so a unit vector is the direction of a given vector and is found by dividing the given vector by its magnitude. So unit vector can be represented like this: actual vector divided by the magnitude of the actual vector. Okay, so this gives you the unit vector. Okay, so all of you have understood? Any questions? Till now, do you have any question? If you have, then you can tell me.
No, sir.
Okay, so I'm leaving my lecture up to here for today. Okay, so I will continue the next topic, that I will be starting the coordinate systems, introduction to coordinate systems. Maybe I think tomorrow we have a class, so I will continue in that class. Okay, so before leaving, I want to just call out your name, so please respond, those who are present, so that I can mark you present. Ayush Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Danish Hussain. Danish, are you there? Okay, Khushbu Kumari.
Yes, sir. Dayashan, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Khushbu Kumari.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kishori Mohan.
Yes, sir.
Manish Medavi. Okay, Asghar Ali.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sohail Ansari.
Yes, sir.
Muskan Kumari.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Praveen Singh.
Present, sir.
Okay, Shamshad Alam.
Yes, sir.
Sumiran Kumari.
Yes, sir.
Yash Kumar Sahu.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jishan Ahmed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you all for today. Okay, so I will be sharing you the this particular notes. Okay, later on, because today I've just given you the introduction part of the vector. So tomorrow, after I explain to you the coordinate systems, then after that I will share this PPT with you along with the ebook also. Okay, in the Google Classroom, and I will also share the Google Classroom code with you. Okay. Okay, so if it is clear, then okay, so then thank you for today then.